Hi, I'm Mary Taylor, founder of OpenSprouts. We built this tool after talking to landscapers who are spending hours, sometimes days, just to create one single estimate. With OpenSprouts, you can create fast, accurate estimates right from your phone, tablet, or computer, all without juggling spreadsheets or chasing after suppliers for prices. Whether you're a solo operator or running multiple crews, we give you a simple way to scale your estimation process and win more bids. So with that, I'll go ahead and jump into the demo. So to start off, we're landing on our estimates listing page. This is where you're able to see every estimate you've ever created in the past. That way you can open them and edit them if you desire. But for this particular demo, we're actually going to go in one of the previous estimates we had created. So with these AI estimates, the more information you put into it, the better the estimate and the design is going to be. So you'll see there's 4 different pages here where we can collect information to make the estimate as accurate as possible. For this one, I just want you to know that not all fields are required, but again, the more information you put in, the better. So to start off with, you have your client information page. A lot of this information can be gathered over the phone just to understand what are the client preferences. So the only fields required here are the client's name as well as the project address. And as soon as you put in the address, you'll get a Google Maps overview of what the property looks like. It just gives you a general idea of what you might expect when you get there. So if you zoom in, this house, you can tell that there's a lot of trees surrounding it. So you might need to investigate if there's any overgrowth, trimming that may need to happen, or maybe even some tree removal. Scrolling down, we can start collecting more of the client preferences, things like if there's any landscape types that they prefer, any particular use cases for this specific project, if they already have some hardscaping preferences in mind, like they want a walkway, if they want gazebos or a fire pit, you can put that information here. Some clients are willing to answer what their budget range is. If so, you can enter that information here. Any project timeline expectations for when they hope for it to be completed, as well as some additional features like lighting or irrigation. If there's some details that the client mentioned that they prefer in their landscape design, but you don't really find a place for it here, at the bottom you'll see there's additional notes where you can add anything else that you would like. Anything you type into this note field will be incorporated into the AI output. So for this client, they said they want to still keep an open, large area in the front yard for their kids and dog to play. So if we go to the next page on our assessment, this is where you're able to put in information when you physically go to the property and have a chance to assess what the property looks like, or some of the conditions you'll be working with. So you can select soil type, sun exposure, any type of drainage issues that you may notice. You can also pick the topography, if it's a flat property or if you notice some slope. Additionally, after measuring the plot of the land, you're able to put that information here. And again, this is really important for the size of the plot. The more accurate sizing you have, the better your estimates are going to be. And you can also put in information about existing features. Again, for this house, we noticed there were a lot of large trees, but if you noticed any other details, you can select those here. Again, none of these fields are required, but the more information you put in, again, your estimates will be even more accurate. At the bottom, we have additional notes so that if anything wasn't captured above, you can add those details in below. So for this particular property, with all the trees that were growing around the property's front yard and backyard, we noticed there was a large overgrowth of Boston ivy, and that needs to be removed. A lot of the times Boston ivy will suffocate a tree and make it die over time. So we're just going to take care of that now. Now for the next step, we'll go over to images. This is where you're able to take images of the property and upload them to be used for a generation of a design for what the property might look like after you're done working on it. So for this example, I only added one image. You can add multiple images if you'd like. So we can see this person has a beautiful home, but there's a lot of trees covering the front of it, and you're not really able to see the house itself, kind of removing the curb appeal that they were hoping for. So in this particular scenario, we're looking at removing these trees so you can see more of the house. If there's other ideas you have, you can also include that in here, but you'll see there are design instructions. So here we can give some information about what kind of design we want this house to look like. So I mentioned before, we want to remove the trees in front of the house. Additionally, we wanted to add some pink azaleas to the front yard to help contrast with the yellow of the home. After you click Generate Design, you would see your generated design down below. To have an idea of something that you can give a client to see if there's some kind of changes they want, hopefully get them excited about the project. We've noticed a lot of customers that when they're showing these images to their client, it's getting a lot of excitement and allowing them to close that deal faster. Now, if you don't like the image that is designed originally, you are able to modify this text and regenerate your design as much as you desire. All right, next, the most important part, we will go over to our estimate. So for our estimate page, there is again another additional notes field. So if there's things you want captured in there that you want to have included in the estimate that you feel like you weren't able to capture previously, you can make notes here. So for example, I included gas for 10 days of travel back and forth from the office. And these notes will be included in the estimate. So after you click Generate AI Estimate, you'll see those details broken down below. We separate them into two tables for materials as well as services, which you'll see in a moment here. But I did want to note, we do list out the generated assumptions for where these values came from. So we'll actually give you an idea of why the AI came up with the values it did. If you see removal of 3 trees, but you noticed it should have been 5, you can accommodate for that and make those adjustments. But you can notice that quantity is listed for each item with an estimated cost and total. With these values, you can edit them and change them to whatever desired value you would like. Same thing for the services down below. You can see there are listed items for removal of trees, removal of the Boston ivy that we'd mentioned earlier. Again, we have estimated hours and hourly rate with costs, but you are able to edit and modify these. If you feel like there's an item not listed here that you would like to see added, if you want to, you can manually add those materials and services yourself. Now, the best part is if I scroll down to the bottom, we automatically add a material margin of 20% and a service margin of 15%. You can see that listed down below in the summarized cost and the summarized total profit margin. You can increase this number if you'd like. So for example, service margin, we only have at 15, but we can increase this to 20% to automatically see those changes. So now, in just a few minutes, I've been able to show you an estimated total for the project broken down by materials and services, as well as you being able to see what your estimated total profit would be from this project. You also have a full design file that you can share with a client to get them excited, and you are able to share this estimate with a client as well. If you'd like to try OpenSprouts for yourself, schedule a call below. We'll set you up with a hands-on demo, answer any of your questions, and give you a free trial so you can test it out. Thank you for watching. I can't wait to help you grow your business faster with OpenSprouts.